What is a virus? What is a coronavirus? What does COVID-19 stand for? Treatments. Symptoms. How to stop the virus spreading. How to protect yourself. Coping with stress during coronavirus. Where did the virus come from? Is the coronavirus or COVID-19 airborne? Timeline of the pandemic coronavirus main points. Viruses. Now, you might be thinking that what is a virus? The answer is that viruses are much smaller than bacteria. They are not even a full cell. They are simply genetic material, DNA or RNA, packed inside of a protein coating. They need to use another cell structures to reproduce, which means they cannot survive unless they are living inside something else, such as a person, animal, or plant. Viruses can only live for a short time or several hours, depending on the type of the virus, outside other living cells. For example, viruses in infected body fluids left on surfaces like a doorknob or handrail might live there for hours, or they'll die quickly unless a living host comes along. What is a coronavirus? The whole family of coronaviruses are named coronavirus. The name coronavirus comes from the Latin word corona, meaning crown or halo, and therefore this refers to the way that the virus looks under the microscope, like there is a crown on the top of the virus. Coronaviruses are a family of viruses that cause diseases in animals. 7, including this new virus, have made the jump to humans. Or we can say that these viruses were originally transmitted from animals to people. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, coronaviruses are a family of viruses that cause illnesses, ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases such as severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, and the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, MERS, MERS. SARS, for instance, was transmitted from civet cats to humans, while MERS moved to humans from a type of camel. Several known coronaviruses are circulating in animals that have not yet infected humans. The novel coronavirus, identified by Chinese authorities on January the 7th and since named SARS-CoV-2, is a new strain that had not been previously identified in humans. Yet, little is known about it, although human-to-human transmission has been already confirmed. What does COVID-19 stand for? CO stands for corona. VI stands for virus. D stands for disease. 19 for 2019, this is the year it was first identified. Treatments. At this time, there are no specific vaccines or treatments for coronavirus. Antibiotics are also not effective because coronavirus is a viral infection and not bacterial. However, doctors are providing supportive care treatments. These treatments aim to relieve the symptoms while the affected body fights the illness. These types of treatments may involve 1. Medication to reduce a fever. 2. Fluids to reduce the risk of dehydration. 3. Supplemental oxygen or oxygen therapy. In more severe cases, people with breathing difficulties due to COVID-19 need mechanical ventilation or assisted ventilation. However, many ongoing clinical trials are evaluating potential treatments. WHO will continue to provide updated information as soon as clinical findings become available. As I mentioned earlier, there is no specific treatment, but doctors are trialing existing drugs for viruses such as Ebola, malaria, and HIV. Earlier results seem promising, but until full clinical trials have been concluded, doctors can't be certain that the drugs are effective. Work to develop a vaccine is accelerating, but it is unlikely to be available soon. Symptoms. The COVID-19 virus affects different people in different ways. Common symptoms include fever, tiredness, or dry cough. Other symptoms include shortness of breath, aches and pains, sore throat, and very few people will report diarrhea, nausea, or a runny nose. In severe cases, it can cause pneumonia, multiple organ failure, and death. The incubation period of COVID-19 is thought to be between 1 and 14 days. It is contagious before its symptoms appear. Infected patients can also be asymptomatic, meaning they do not display any symptoms despite having the virus in their systems, and they transfer it to others. That is why so many people get the infection. Most people who get COVID-19 or coronavirus will recover fully without ever needing to see their doctor or admit to a hospital. Furthermore, experts across the world are working on treatments and ways to keep everyone safe. Spreading. Finding effective ways to prevent the spread of coronavirus remains a global challenge. Since first being recorded in late December 2019 in China, the COVID-19 coronavirus has spread around the world and been declared a global pandemic by the World Health Organization on 11th of March 2020. This year, by early spring, Europe had become the worst affected region, with Italy and Spain particularly hard hit. However, differences in testing mean that the number of cases may be understated for some countries. The virus spreads in a similar way to flu or the common cold, through large droplets produced by coughs and sneezes. The droplets land on surfaces, and virus can live on surfaces for several hours, which are then picked up on the hands of others and spread further. People catch the virus when they touch their infected hands to their mouth, nose, or eyes. One of the best ways to slow the spread of an outbreak is by staying away from other people, which is also called social distancing. That gives a virus less opportunity to jump from person to person. That's why everyone is being asked to stay home. Those measures help blunt the impact of an outbreak by slowing the virus. If fewer people get sick at once, it's easier for healthcare providers to give everyone good care. How to protect yourself from COVID-19. There are plenty of necessary precautions you can take to protect yourself against catching respiratory viruses of this type, as well as following government advice and staying at home. We should maintain basic hygiene, such as the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself is to keep your hands clean by washing them frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Use hand sanitizer gel if soap and water are not available. Wash your hands as soon as you get home. Do not touch your eyes, nose, or mouth if your hands are not clean. Cover your mouth and nose with a tissue or your sleeve, not your hands, when you cough or sneeze. Put used tissues in the bin immediately and wash your hands afterwards. You must also follow the social distancing safety measures enforced by your local government to keep yourself safe. Coping with stress during the COVID-19 outbreak. It is normal to feel sad, stressed, confused, scared, or angry during a crisis. Talking to people you trust can help. Contact your friends and family. If you must stay at home, maintain a healthy lifestyle, including proper diet, sleep, exercise, and social contact with loved ones at home and by email and phone with other friends and family. Don't use smoking, alcohol, or other drugs to deal with your emotions. If you feel overwhelmed, talk to a health worker or counselor. Have a plan, where to go to and how to seek help from physical and mental health needs if required. Get the facts. Gather information that will help you accurately determine your risk so that you can take reasonable precautions. Find a credible source you can trust, such as WHO websites or a local or state public health agency. Limit worry and agitation by lessening the time you and your family spend watching or listening to media coverage that you perceive as upsetting. Draw on skills you have used in the past that have helped you to manage previous life's adversities, and use those skills to help you manage your emotions during the challenging time of this outbreak. how did the coronavirus outbreak start? Coronavirus is not a brand new virus. Other strains of the coronavirus have caused outbreaks such as severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, MERS. Coronaviruses can jump to humans. This typically happens via contact with an infected animal. It can also jump directly to humans without mutating or passing through an intermediate species. The type of animal the virus originated from is not clear, although researchers have found that the genetic sequence of the new virus is 96% identical to one coronavirus found in bats. The public health officials from China informed the World Health Organization (WHO) that they had a problem with an unknown new virus, which was causing pneumonia-like illness in the city of Wuhan, Hubei province in China on 31st of December 2019. But later, South China Morning Post reported that the first confirmed COVID-19 case could be traced back to 17th of November 2019, according to Chinese government documents. The disease appears to have originated from a Wuhan seafood market where wild animals such as marmots, birds, rabbits, bats, pangolins, snakes traded illegally and are slaughtered and sold for consumption. The cages are stacked over one another. The cages at the bottom with animals are soaked with all kinds of liquid, food, blood, and animal excrement. This is how viruses and bacteria can jump between animals. When that animal comes in contact with humans, or its meat is consumed by humans, then the virus can jump from animals to humans. On 7th of February, Chinese researchers said the virus could have spread from an infected animal to humans through illegally trafficked pangolins, prized in Asia for food and medicine. There is uncertainty about several aspects of the COVID-19 origin story that scientists are trying hard to unravel, including which species passed it to a human. They're trying hard because knowing how a pandemic starts is a key to stopping the next one. The Chinese government responded to the initial outbreak by placing Wuhan and nearby cities under a de facto quarantine encompassing roughly 50 million people in Hubei province. This quarantine is now slowly being lifted as authorities watch to see whether cases will rise again. A study published on March the 26th argues that genetic sequences of coronavirus in pangolins are about 88.5% and 92.4% similar to the human virus. The Wuhan market was shut down for inspection and cleaning due to suspicion of coronavirus origin. A more productive approach would be to focus on securing a full investigation into the origins and causes of this pandemic. Is the coronavirus or COVID-19 airborne? There is some debate about whether the disease is airborne. There is no evidence for it yet, but that could change. Airborne viruses linger for a more extended period for time than those spread by droplets. and airborne viruses can also spread in air conditioning and ventilation systems. The current advice is that the disease can only be spread between close contacts, defined as spending more than 15 minutes within 2 meters of an infected person. First cases timeline. December the 31st, China alerted the WHO to several pneumonia cases. January the 11th, China announced coronavirus first death. January the 13th, the WHO reported first case in Thailand outside China's mainland. January the 21st, first laboratory confirmed case in Washington, North America. January the 24th, France confirmed first case in Europe. January the 25th, the first case confirmed in Australia. The January the 30th, WHO declared coronavirus outbreak a global health emergency. February, first case confirmed in South America. February the 2nd, first death recorded outside China in the Philippines. February the 7th, Chinese doctor and whistleblower Li Wenliang died. February the 9th, the death toll in China surpassed that of the 2002 to 2003 SARS. February the 11th, the WHO named the virus COVID-19. February the 14th, Egypt confirmed first case in Africa. March the 21st, Europe remained the epicenter of the pandemic. March the 25th, all North American countries confirmed at least one case. April the 3rd, all countries in South America and the British Overseas Territory of the Falkland Islands had been infected with at least one case. April the 6th, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson was moved into intensive care. April the 18th, Spain's death toll surpassed 20,000. April 22nd, Pope Francis has urged Europe to remain united in overcoming the effects of the coronavirus. April the 22nd, the WHO wants coronavirus to be with us for a long time.